So we'll just record this for anybody that's not present.
Great, thank you.
So with that in mind, looking at sharing like what your strategy is, you're thinking around for this year, and also what your individual project is, and then maybe what's your first step for this year. Is there anybody that would like to go first? I'm happy to, but if I'd rather throw it open to you guys.
I can go first. My big goal for this quarter is to just go hard with the partnerships and to find those different ecosystems that already exist and kind of just bring the trans tech aspects out of them. And what I'm finding, actually, that was a very helpful tip from our meetings last year. But what I'm finding with New York is with COVID, things have completely transformed in terms of like memberships and partnerships and just the communities that existed before. A lot of them have gone quiet. So just like trying to figure out where to find those people again, and then finding those people and figuring out how we can reactivate, either reactivate or just like pull the relevant people out from those communities that were there before. But I do have one partnership already with an organization here that's a little more broad. Like they have, they help companies with that do all sorts of things, like as long as it's like social impact related or anything that's like ethical, they help companies with that, but there's no specific focus. So I've already talked to them about doing some events together that's specifically connected to transformative tech and finding those people in their existing audience that belong to this community.
Cool. That's really great, Rose. One thing I did initially is it's just pretty simple. It's just like Googling health, tech, and New York or the region and seeing what comes up. So it's pretty straightforward, and it's amazing what actually comes up. So I'm not sure if you've done something like that just to help, because I find health tech's, it's as closely related to trans tech as anything. I'm not sure if anyone else has any thoughts on that, but yeah, in terms of finding the right key stakeholders to approach, I found that to be useful.
I'll try that. Again, I think part of the challenge for me has been a lot of those things that a lot of the organizations that I know about and had in mind to kind of go after, they've just gone completely quiet in the last few months. So yeah.
It might even be part of the Christmas period as well, or the holidays. I know it happens here at least. What are you working on outside of trans tech? Is there anything that we can support you on? It's good just to know.
Well, what I'm doing in the next couple of months is I'm going to be doing a lot of business workshops, branding, digital marketing, and product development workshops as well. So I don't think I need any support there necessarily, but yeah, it doesn't hurt to just spread the word if anyone wants to join. I'll be doing some free ones as well. So if anyone wants to get a taste of what those workshops look and feel like.
Yeah, great.
Also, so one of the partnerships we are building this year is, we launched the job board. So we are partnering with Neurotech X to support each other with, because they have also been, they actually have a very well-established and, working job board. So we are aligning forces. And I learned that they also have local chapters. So I'm going to reach out to them and discuss, like where is the locations that they have chapters and what they are doing. So I think it's also, like besides all the research that each one of you guys are doing for your own kind of local ecosystem. I think that, it's a very, Neurotech X, they work more from the clinical perspective of technologies, around, neurological disorders and development, but like there is some like some intersection between them and us. So there might be a way that somehow we can collaborate and we can support each other's with the work that their chapters are doing and the work that you guys are doing as well, in terms of organizing something together, or we can see it. I still don't know what's it that they are doing and what is their strategy, but I'm sure that there's a way in which we all can somehow join forces. Just a comment on this. Now that I heard Rose talking about all the partnerships and kind of doing the scouting, like there might be a way for us to do it also strategically.
Great. They've got a really big community on Slack. I'm not sure if they've got a community anywhere else, but I've been part of that community for a while now. Neurotech X.
I haven't joined, but I'll check it.
Oh, I can add you, I think.
Perfect.
Could you add me as well, please, Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, cool. Let me do that. I'll make a note. Cool. All right, who's next? Thanks, Rose. If there's anything that we can do, let us know. Oh,
I can do next. Yes, so my strategy and how my individual projects. So normally, Rania is joining. Welcome, Rania.
Rania.
Hello, welcome. Hello,
Hi,
Troy.
Rania.
Hello, everyone.
Rania, happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I'm just trying to open from the laptop because of the camera. Yeah.
We're just checking in, each one of us, on the strategy for the year and our individual projects, and if there is anything that we need support with. Yeah, and connection, crossover. So I'm going next. I am going back to Switzerland next week, and I basically in the last month I've been moving into a new apartment in Zurich and setting up myself as a self-employed in Switzerland for delivering services with the building of community around conscious leadership and transformative technologies. So it's new emerging space. This year, I am actually meeting with two friends who are doing more conscious leadership services, especially for one friend that they are doing virtual beings, virtual avatars, a company that I'm advising in Switzerland. And this is like the end part of what I am aiming to do with personally as a business model for transformative technologies, so it can be sustainable financially, which is to offer workshops and retreats around conscious leadership for entrepreneurs and stakeholders. So yeah, the situation is still very complicated in Switzerland when it comes to in-person events. The regulations and limitations are quite tough right now. And I would really like to start the year with an in-person event, giving a good experience. But I'm open. So I'm going with the flow and see how far are we going to go during 2022 for in-person events. So hopefully I can organize some very good experiences in person for the transformative tech ecosystem in Switzerland, which would be as well launch, since events. I organized events in the past around technologies for mental health and well-being, but not under the Transformative Tech brand. So I want to do a very cool event this year for the launch. So what that means for me is that it's a little bit uncertain because of the COVID situation. I don't know when I can do an in-person event without so many limitations like right now. So I'm like observing and seeing, okay, how long can I wait, or shall I just go online and do a start online, and that's it. Maybe that's the thing for 2022 still, that I have to go online. I do online events to bring transformative tech entrepreneurs, staff from the universities that are in the space, professionals, investors. So that's part of the development. I'm listening to you as well, and I'm very curious about like partnership with accelerators. I'm very curious as well about what kind of content I can use. Normally, I like to invite speakers that have prominent startups that are doing very well, or they are very innovative, or I like to invite scientists that are doing very interesting edge research in the top universities in Switzerland. And I like to bring as well facilitators for bringing the group together. So this is one of the things that I have done in the past. So for me, partnership with Accelerator is something that would be new. And my intention personally is as well to bring some of those leaders in different spaces into workshops around conscious leadership and in-person retreats. And that's the way I plan to make money out of it, unless I find a way, like Troy has done in Australia, to partner with or to organize some kind of like acceleration for startups in Switzerland, which I am open to it. So yeah, it's a little bit uncertain for me. I'm going with the flow. Just be patient with me. But for sure, what I'm very good at is doing events, doing very, very good events and bringing amazing people together, which I will do for sure. Still, I want to find more clarity in the ecosystem and what's the most potential support that I can give to entrepreneurs and to the TransTech ecosystem in Switzerland is something that I'm going to continue to be working on in the next weeks to bring more clarity.
That's great. So it seems like just finding out about the regulations around running in-person events. Do you know what they are at the moment? Like, can you do in-person events, or is there restrictions?
So there has been restrictions this Christmas about work from home and like the government is pushing to stay at home right now. I think actually I'm not sure. That was last month, so I need to go back to Switzerland. But they were pretty tough last month. Maybe they change. I have to see when I go back.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, we'll keep us posted. Let us know if there's anything we can do. I like the sound of the conscious leadership. It's like anything though, building a new business, you validate it as you go. And yeah, if you want to bounce any ideas off me, man, let me know. I'm happy to jump on a call. That market validation startup space is it's my background. I spent a decade doing it, so it's all about risk mitigation. So yeah, whatever I can do to support, I'd love to help.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Yeah,
question actually.
Yes.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
sorry, go ahead, Albert.
No, Paola, please.
So as I heard, I'm not 100% sure whether this is of your interest in, thinking about partnership with accelerators or incubators, or this is something that you are kind of, thinking as an alignment with what we have been discussing and what Troy is somehow putting on the table, or you are more interested in, kind of thinking about a partnership with universities, as you mentioned. because like I believe that there, you know, like what the path more or less that Troy is suggesting, and I think that building the partnership with accelerators is a very interesting strategic step, but I don't think, you know, this is, I think this is just a means to a very similar end. And, you know, each chapter also considering the local ecosystem and, you know, kind of where the stakeholders are, might be thinking of different strategies. And you know, I'm thinking about Zurich as a city that is a lot of focus on, you know, I don't know, pharma and biotech and all these kind of things. And I think that the universities, and actually they have very good universities. So I don't know if maybe, you know, like there's a way in which we can support you as well on building the, you know, transformative tech ecosystem in collaboration with the universities. But this is just a question for you. Is this of your interest, or you also would like to start establishing new relationships with other stakeholders such as accelerators or incubators?
So I am interested in anything that can support the ecosystem to grow. The connections that I have made so far are individual, so I haven't made any partnership. I know that it is probably easy to support entrepreneurs with the main goal of the TransTech community to connect entrepreneurs with investors and innovators and bring their projects to emerge. So I'm curious about what kind of partnership I can do with the universities. Like, how can TransTech benefit to give visibility into research projects? Maybe this is something that can be of interest for the university, that transformative technology can be a space for labs from the ETH on the Zurich University, that they are doing like incredible research in many fields, that we can give them visibility. Maybe, I'm not sure, because they are focused on publications, most of it. So their core interest is in papers. So I'm curious how a community like TransTech that is very, very focused on bringing some of this research into products and services, commercial solutions to the market, how we can build a partnership. So this is something that I am very, very curious. But I'm interested. Like, for instance, Disney has a research center in Switzerland that is partnered with the ETH, with the Polytechnical University of Zurich. And they are doing incredible research about game design that then they bring into their theme parks. And a lot of it stays in the university for public knowledge, public domain. So my question is, how can we benefit? Yes, I'm interested, you know, like, of course, they are doing incredible research. So anything that we can support these universities to partner outside of the university and bring this information and this work outside of the university is very beneficial for society.
Okay, so just to understand, you are interested in partnering with universities, but at this point you don't know how. Correct. But it's still of your main interest of being a chapter leader for transformative tech is building relationship with universities. Is that correct?
It's not my main goal, but I am thinking in the ecosystem. This would be like a great conversation, like 1 week per chapter leader, just give me feedback. This is great.
No, that's not a bad idea.
So the situation is that I have knowledge on the ecosystem in general. Like, for instance, this is the point that I need to make decisions strategically. Like, where do I want to put my focus? Where can I benefit most? Where is the interest? Where are already other players where I might compete with TransTech and they might not find any interest in transformative technologies? Like, for instance, the university, they have already their own like entrepreneurship organization that they support the students to bring spin-offs and startups out of the university ecosystem, which is a great place to meet amazing entrepreneurs from the university. But my intention with the TransTech, and this is my basic idea, and I'm open to more ideas, this is why I'm like open, is to support entrepreneurs. This is what I want, because I am an entrepreneur myself, and I see it's very beneficial to connect like-minded entrepreneurs in the ecosystem in a specific region with the stakeholders so they can get to know each other, they can do business, they can support their development, they can attract more funding and funds into the space of transformative technologies. This is something that is very, very important. And this is what I want to support personally. If this implies partnering with universities, because we are supporting universities to bring some of these projects into the market, I am open to that. But my support as an entrepreneur and not as a scientist is to support entrepreneurs to develop their projects successfully, to find like-minded individuals that are passionate about transformative technologies, investors, and yeah. So this is my main goal. And for me personally, what I want to bring is consciousness into this space. I want to support the consciousness of, that this is good and people are clear in what they are doing and they are as aligned and coherent as they can, and the ecosystem as well, so this can thrive with a better impact from a consciousness perspective.
Okay. Okay, this is easier for me to understand. And I think, I think that your goal is exactly the same goal as each one of us, in the sense that we want to support the community and the ecosystem, especially focusing on supporting entrepreneurs and kind of building the local ecosystem. So I think that in that case, I think there's some stuff, like there's some steps that people can take, right, Troy? Is there a way to start building this ecosystem and kind of helping each other connect?
Yeah, one of the things that came up when you were talking is, like, I mentioned to Rose before, like health tech, and just Googling for health tech accelerator, but it might be, within transformative tech, there's the broader niches like VR, like biotech, like AI. It might be that you have a specific affinity for one of those applications for technology, to transformative technology, like to mental health, well-being, human thriving. So, and if there's it may not be. What would come up for me was, it may not be that we need to focus as broadly as all of them, all of those different applications of technology, or all of those technologies. Because I know in Queensland, for example, there is a thriving AI. There is a thriving AI ecosystem, and then there's a biotech. So it might be initially that you want to jump in on one of those and start building relationships, because like, I know, for example, AI, they've got a hub, and so they've already got an established ecosystem, so you can just plug into that. And same with biotech, and VR has a hub as well. So yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question, Paula, but that's something that came up.
Yeah, is there a way to approach them? Like, maybe we can think about what is the best way where we can plug into those ecosystems, right? Or
So,
how have you done it in the past?
this is what I can share what I have done in the past, and it worked very well. Well, first, I have a good personal network in Switzerland, which makes it very easy, of course, to invite some of those players into events. And what I do normally is I design very good in-person events where I bring different individuals from the ecosystem that are similar interests. Maybe they are investors, or they are professors from the university, or they are entrepreneurs or professionals. So if they bring them together, this has been my strategy when it comes to building the ecosystem in the past. So this is what I can do again, for sure, probably successfully. I have not. So the point is, as Troy is mentioning, like, okay, what's the focus? Okay, so I'm focusing on AI or mental health, or maybe there is a program, like I was looking at TransTech program last year, and you had like a monthly theme for every month. So this is an idea, because I'm trying to understand how to adapt. Maybe I can just listen to the community. The other idea that I had that I was sharing last month is that I can ask the participants, I can create very interesting events with very good content and speakers, and then leverage the community that is in Switzerland. And I already have more than 500 members database. So it's not going to be difficult to start. It's the question of what is more interesting for the participants and what can I offer, what Transtech can offer. So like, what can we offer as organizers for the ecosystem to develop successfully? Is it just events? Is it as well like creating like meeting investors, matching investors with entrepreneurs? Is it bringing people from the university as well, so the students can be inspired by startup entrepreneurs? So these are the kind of things that maybe, Troy, we can have a one-on-one another time. I don't want to steal more time. I really appreciate this moment. But maybe, Troy, if you want to give me some feedback another time, like one-on-one, I can just bounce around with a lot of different ideas of what can I do. And we can work on something.
We probably do need to move on because I have I've got a hard stop in about 20 minutes because I have another meeting to get to. But in my experience, events are a really cool mechanism to bring together the key stakeholders, including the entrepreneurs, but then also whoever you want to invite to the ecosystem. And initially, like finding them, it's just a matter of tapping them on the shoulder, reaching out to them and saying, hey, we are Transformative Technologies. We're a global ecosystem supporting entrepreneurs across this space. At a local level, we're running regular meetups. Like for me, what I did was I created a Facebook group as well, like a local Facebook group, as a means of having like regionalized conversations. And it's not always super active, but it's a means to share what's relevant to our local ecosystem. So I think there needs to be a communication mechanism. And then as things unfold from a global level, like the value proposition is going to be more and more clear this year. Like we still don't have like a lot of clarity around, all right, well, sure, at a local level, we can run meetups. What's the value of being involved in transformative technology at a global level? Like that's still unfolding from what I understand this year in terms of the academy, the job board and other opportunities. And so I think at a local level now, it's like, I think trying to get an event, if nothing else, trying to get an event, just to put a flag in the ground saying, hey, Transtech Switzerland or Zurich is here, and this is what we're doing. And it doesn't have to be like an event that changes the world. It's really just planting a flag in the ground to get momentum started and happening, and then something to build around. And so that's what I'd encourage everybody to do, is to, even if it is online, it's just really like bringing people together, even if it's just for an hour like this, to have a conversation, to connect people, because there's value even in that, just connecting people. Yeah, so I think don't aim for perfection, aim for momentum.
Yes, I feel complete. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, cool. All right, who'd like to go next? Sorry, Paula, do you want to say something?
No. I just said that also, like, you can also connect after this to discuss this further. I know you have a hard stop, so it's fine.
Yeah. All right, Lewis, Reina, did you want to go? We're just basically sharing what's the strategy look like for you at the moment leading into the year, and then what are you working on individually? Just
I can share. For me, as I shared before, first, in-person events still have some challenges because we have restrictions. So I think that for the meanwhile, it will continue the online events. For this year, I knew some new, I was introduced to some new entrepreneurs who are working in the Transtech, and so I will reach out for them and let's say introduce transformative technology for them and have events, let's say. At the same time, I'm interested in frequency medicine series, the one that was done by Dimitri. So I talked to him, and he suggested that I can introduce the not the startups, the let's say the people or the entrepreneurs that he interviewed. So I would like also to dig deeper in this domain. For the ecosystem, I think I also need support. Yeah, so I can, let's say, introduce transformative technology to these to universities and other parts of the ecosystem, but I don't know how to, let's say, have partnership or to I need guidance in this, actually, the partnership part. I also heard your suggestion of Facebook group, for example, but what do you mean? For, you know, how can we? You mean for this is feasible, for example, for individuals, but for let's say universities, and how can we have these conversations and, let's say, start to build momentum and build this, let's say, community gradually? So yes, maybe once maybe we can start with the part with the partnership part to have guidance in this. I think this is something that I need support in, and yeah, this is for me.
Yeah, cool. I think we can not overcomplicate it, really. Like, it's not that we have to have formal partnerships now with, say, universities. In my experience, it's just like reaching out to the universities, because they're people, right? They're just people, and they have profiles. Like when I was talking about having a Facebook group, it's more just like a communication mechanism. So it's a place where you can come and share local, hey, we've got an event coming up, or this is for founders to introduce themselves, or people to introduce themselves. So whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's a Slack channel, whether it's whatever you want to choose to help have a like communication medium for your local ecosystem, I find it's valuable, because then you can have stakeholder, like your regional stakeholders can have conversations. And in terms of like partnerships, like early on, like initially, I think it's just reaching out to them without needing any formal partnerships. Like it's like relationship development. When you or you go on a date, right? You don't necessarily ask to get married on the first date. Really, what we're doing is reaching out and say, hey, we're Transtech. This is what we do. You're a university. I know you're working in this space, whatever it might be. I wonder if it could be exciting to explore synergies to support. And through that relationship development, then it's like opportunities to partner may emerge or they may not. And they'll become obvious as you go. But I feel like we don't necessarily need to approach this from setting up a partnership from day one, because that may be too big. Like in saying that, like an easier partnership or an easier relationship might be, like we talked about previously, finding an accelerator or a co-working space or an incubator that's already playing in the same space as us and approaching them. And it might be there that you just do an event with them, or host an event at their space. That's an easier ask. I'm not sure if this is helpful, Reena.
Yeah, sure. I understand your point, and I will proceed in this. Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's, I think it's just about not striving for perfection. Let's just build momentum. And so just running an event, if 3 people show up, that's a win, because the flag's planted and you're you've yeah, taken a step in the right direction. It just, most important thing I've in my experience is consistency. So you just got to do it. Do the things, aim for doing what you can consistently. Like if you run a really big event and then don't run one again for 6 months, well then it's harder for the key stakeholders. It's harder for momentum to build. So I'd be more inclined to just run smaller, more consistent events that people can come to.
Yeah.
So sorry, I missed the bit where you were talking about in-person events and online events. Is there restrictions around in-person events still in Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah. So then I'd encourage just like an online meetup or an online get together, not unlike what we're doing here now. Just getting to know each other, sharing each other's networks, go, all right, what are you doing? It's friend development as well, like these are people that ultimately that you're going to get along with because you've got a lot of shared interests. So it's kind of like building relationships with people that are of like mind.
Yeah.
Think of it like that as well. You're extending your social network to. I was going through a stage in my life where I was really busy or working on my projects, and it was like the friends that I wanted to be working with are the people, or the hanging out with, sorry, are the people that I ultimately want to be working with anyway. So it's a good opportunity to make new friends.
Yeah.
Also, just a quick add as well. Rania, I don't know how, and this is a question, how strong is the frequency medicine kind of industry or ecosystem in Jordan?
It's a totally new concept, not new to it. I see some people are, they started to know the concept of vibrations and the effect of it. So it's not totally, let's say, new,
Mm-hmm.
So providing such reference may be helpful. Maybe I can test waters, but I know that there are. I know I'm connected to a group that they already use them.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a reference.
Okay, that's good. Because also one of the things that we discussed for chapters this year is that depending on the restrictions as well and the way you want to develop your chapter, there is also chances that we can do global events that are focused not only on the local ecosystem, but mostly on the vertical. So like the frequency medicine. So we can think about how we can connect the Jordan community with the global ecosystem through events, networking events, or different type of events that are focused on frequency medicine. That could
Yeah.
also be an option.
Yeah. Yes. I remembered something that I wanted to ask since last time. So, what if, for example, am I restricted only to Jordan? Because I see other startups in the Middle East, and I don't think that there are a lot of resources for them. I don't know if it's okay to because this will
It's totally okay. It's totally okay. Yeah, of course. The same chapter, the same way that the Queensland chapter has developed to be more Australasia focused. definitely, like we don't have anyone in the whole Middle East. So, if you're actually located in a very strategic place. So there is, I guess, more connections with other countries around. So definitely, go ahead.
Yeah, this is great because this will widen the options for me in order to host events and entrepreneurs. This will help. Thank you.
Of course, sure.
Great. Lewis, I know you mentioned that you're having a bad reception. I'm not sure if you can talk now, but now's a great opportunity just to jump on if you're free. I know you mentioned that you were taking notes.
Yes, thank you, Troy. I will start probably get bad reception, but very quickly and can elaborate more if needed. I've been taking notes. My plan indeed is to focus first step to connect with some of the incubator or accelerator organizations in Mexico that might be interested in the space. I've already identified a few, like a couple, 2 or 3 that are ones of the like part of the top ones that are actually have like a vertical focused on this space. So I think it's great. It's a great potential partner. So my first step is to engage. I'm gonna literally try to connect with one of their leaders or the big people that I know are leading these particular vertical in these incubators or accelerators, and just engage with them and see try to
Losing you, mate. I think that's good. It's a good strategy what you're talking about. But I think we lost you. It's not just me, right? Lewis is.
I also cannot hear him.
Yeah. Lewis, I think that's good. I've made a note of that in the minutes.
learn to what extent they would be informed, but still just open.
He's gone.
Yeah,
Oh no, he's here. He's muted.
yeah, okay.
Sorry, I'm back. It could be not for long, but yeah, my second step would be to try to launch an event once engaging with one of these organizations, and pretty much take it from there. So yeah, overall that would be my next steps.
I think that's great. Like that makes sense. Like find the partner and then run an event. And it, like I said before, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just like this is the first one. Momentum is more important than perfection. So I think in terms of strategy, that it makes sense, Lewis. So whatever I can do to support, let me know. And this goes for anybody. Feel free to reach out. You know, like I'd love to. I'm very happy to have conversations with anybody. Yeah. So in Queensland, what we're doing is I have so River City Labs, or looking to partner with them. So they're launching a pre-accelerator program. So we're looking at 2 stages. It's a paid paid program, and their focus is tech more broadly, but within that we're going to have 2 to 3 transformative technology seats within this program as a pilot, as a trial. And so my role is to help them find quality candidates that are transforming TT entrepreneurs to go through the pre-accelerator. And so I will be the entrepreneur in residence for that program, working with those founders. So it's a structured program. Like I said, the founders actually pay for it. So from my perspective, I'll get paid a small amount to be the entrepreneur in residence for that program. all going well, we'll launch a transformative technology like an exclusive pre-accelerator program with River City Labs in the middle of the year. So this is kind of like a prelude to that. So that's one of the big focuses that I have is working with them. So their marketing of that will start around the 17th. They're just gearing back up now this week as well. And so around the 17th next week, we'll start piecing it together and getting it out. Outside of that, I'm just going to do an online meetup to the existing community stakeholders. It's just like 1 hour probably initially is the first event, just to say, hey, let's get the band together and just connect and share what's new. And then I'm not sure what the second event will be, but every month I'd like to just do a meetup just online to bring everyone together. And they may go to in person in the coming months, but I'm not sure. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this year so far. From our side.
That's really exciting, Troy. Everything that you mentioned
Yes.
is really exciting.
Hey,
Yeah. River City Labs are like the leading accelerator program the leading my brain's not working properly still. This COVID, it's funny how it works. It's the leading co-working space incubator in Queensland. So it's great to have them on board. They get it, like and they are, I think AWS is one of their main funders. So yeah, it could be really opportunistic. And that as well. Also, I had the leader for Silicon Beach. I'm not sure if that's a thing in anywhere else in the world, but Silicon Beach, it's like a community of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Thousands of founders around around Australia. There's different chapters. We used to run Silicon Reef in Cairns, but Silicon Beach. Anyway, the founder of that reached out to me on LinkedIn, so I've got a phone call with him later today. So I'm curious to see what that's about. But there's an opportunity to obviously fly the TransTech flag there. So, like finding leaders of entrepreneurial communities and having conversations with them is a great strategy, because I don't know what's going to happen, but something might happen, you know.
That's a great idea. That's actually a great idea. Like it's just about the communities, right?
The entrepreneurs are already out there, and TransTech is unique. It's unique in that it's like we're a community focused on this vertical, this niche, and we've got a global audience. So having conversations with local communities, plugging them into the international. I do have to go though, guys, because I've got people jumping into the waiting room, but I'll send through the notes for this. It'd be great to when I'm feeling better, I'll reach out to you all individually. It'd be great to start getting some momentum and hold each other accountable to following through with what we said.
Thank you for hosting the culture, really. I really appreciate it, even though your current COVID status. So,
it's not fun. It's like you
take care.
You don't want to catch
rest.
it. Anyway.
I don't want.
It's everywhere.
I'll also email you all, so we will have another call next week. Mostly focused on the whole global strategy. So there's some interesting things that I wanted to share with you. I'll share with you also next week. So I'll text you all as well. But this was great. I actually took a lot of notes, Troy, as always. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Great. Thank you, everybody. I'll email you.
Everybody have a
Yeah.
good day, evening.